I always sleep with the bedroom door closed at night. I don't know what it is, I don't know why, but I always feel more comfortable when the door is closed at night. Now, going back to ancient times, they believed doors not only protected them from humans entering their home, but something negative or evil from coming in. Now, maybe there's something to this. There was a case out in Connecticut. There was this older woman named Ashley. Ashley moves in with a roommate, and it was a small little apartment. She had lived there for about 6 weeks, and she said she was the kind of person that always slept with the door closed at night. But this particular apartment, her bedroom would get really, really warm. And the only way to cool it down was to leave the bedroom door open. So she started sleeping with the doorway open. She said one night she was in bed, and out of the corner of her eye, as she turned in her bed, she looked over at the doorway and she seen someone walk past. And she kind of rubbed her eyes, and once again, she's seen someone walk past the other way. So the next day, she's talking to her roommate and said, were you walking around last night? I kept seeing you walk by the doorway. And he goes, no, like I was asleep in bed the whole night. Like I didn't get up or anything. So next couple of weeks, this keeps happening. She keeps seeing someone walk by her doorway at night. And then one night it happens and her roommate is not there. And she actually calls up her roommate. He comes home, he searches the apartment. They don't find anything. So she said then about a couple weeks after that, once again, she was asleep in her bedroom. And she said she woke up and she just felt very, very cold that night. And when she looked over at her door, which was wide open, she said she noticed the doorway was partially closed. It had moved, which was odd because she knew she left the door all the way swung open. And she said that's when she started to hear this scratching sound. And then the sound of footsteps. Boom, 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 walking down the hallway. She said it got right to her doorway and she started to hear kind of this weird moaning, groaning, kind of raspy sound. And she said she called out to her roommate, hey, is that you? Like, what are you doing? She didn't hear a response. So she gets up, she goes over to the doorway, and she looks out. There's no one there. And this happens like 2 or 3 more times where she hears these footsteps and she can hear like this moaning and groaning sound. So finally she said, you know what, this must just all be in my head. I'm freaking myself out. I'm going to go back to sleep. So she lays down and she falls asleep. But about an hour later, she wakes up, and when she turns over in the bed and she looks at the doorway, she said there was a woman in this big, tall, brimmed black hat. She didn't have a face, and she was wearing some sort of weird black cloth around her. And she said she tried to scream, but she couldn't move, and it felt like something was holding her down. And whatever it was, she could not move at all. She said that's when all of a sudden the hallway light turned on, and her roommate come down the hallway to use the bathroom. And whatever this was, it was gone. She could move again. She ran out of the bedroom, runs to her roommate, tells him what happened. And the roommate just kind of gives her this strange look. And he says, about 2 years ago, I had the same exact experience. But it's weird. When I started having this thing, I started seeing the same thing as you. I would close my door at night and it stopped happening. And so she said that for the period of time that she lived at this apartment, she would sleep with the door closed. So what do you think? Does sleeping at night with the door closed keep us safe?